welcome to another episode of Glenn Yaps. We're in my recording studio. This is Screaming Mosquito Studio. It's just basically my little man cave. Good old man cave. Today we're going to focus on my recording drum set. This is a Yamaha Recording Custom kit. The most documented as the most recorded drums in the world. These were at one time Yamaha's top of the line kits. Now that's been replaced by the Phoenix. This is a birch kit. I've had this, I bought it brand new in 1987. I was working in the steel plant at the time. There's a bit of dust on it right now, but I am using it for some recording projects for a couple of friends and some strangers via the internet that hire me to record drum tracks in my studio. The rack system is stainless steel, whereas most of the ones you see are chrome. I never liked the chrome. The stainless steel I liked. This is the Tama cage that was out at the time. With all the cymbals, the drums, and electronics on this, plus the little extra doodads, we'll say, we're definitely in the 10 grand mark. So I couldn't afford to replace this kit with modern day prices, but even at the time when I bought it, it was up there in price. I said it was going to be the last kit I ever owned, but that was a lie, because I keep buying drums. But this is still my favorite kit of all time. Some have come close, but this one still edges out. This was the drum set Dave Weckl was playing, not in the same configuration, mind you, but when Dave Weckl's one of my favorite drummers, and he influenced me in a massive way. So I bought the same drums as him that he was using at the time, and we'll go back here. I have the same snare he was using at the time. So we'll just kind of mosey through here. This is like a little walkway around. So as you can see, I've got a small PA system here, 600 watts out of that little speaker, enough to hear my electronics or music when I'm practicing. I always use headphones anyways, but it's nice to have a bit of the ambience. So this is the spaceship, Glenn's spaceship, as it was nicknamed by a few friends years ago. Pretty much everything is mounted on the cage except for the drums, the hi-hat, and the snare drum stand. This is the original snare drum that came with the kit when I bought it. It's still, everything on this kit is pretty much mint, even though I toured with it and played it every single day for all those years. It is still in near mint shape. One or two little marks on it for my own stupidity, and then that's basically it. It's in need of a drum head change, because I've been playing this kit a lot in the last short while, and I'll give you a kind of a course of what everything is. Obviously we have a mixer here. This mixer has the Roland Pad 11. Each one of these pads makes a sound, and there's a whole library of sounds. They all go through this into this monitor here, so they play back so I can hear them. I can also use the headphones. The headphones are connected too. we have my favorite old Dr. Beat metronome. If you can see that, that's old school. But that's been my workhorse since I started playing. The computer also runs in here. I play my songs on here from when I'm learning material, or if I got a DVD or a lesson, I can watch it down there. Back here we have a keyboard. The keyboard is normally in sync with the roll-in pad. I can trigger keyboard phrases. I haven't done that in a long time. So when I used to play live, I used to do that. But it's still fun to mess around with. Now the synth, I just use it for playing and practicing. This keyboard wasn't cheap back in the day either, but like everything in electronics, the better stuff comes out. This is my little practice pad area to warm up before playing. So the snare drum, this one is a Yamaha. This one here is my favorite of all time snares. This is a 1958 Slingerland. It's hard to see in the darkness here, but it's a 4-color fine sparkle snare, extremely rare, and it's mint, absolutely mint. Came from Salvation Army depot in the US, and just love it. So in some of my videos, people have asked me what these are. These are actually little electronic boxes that I made. They're a metal box and with a rubber pad on it, and inside the rubber pad is a what they call a piezo element, basically similar to what's in these. And what they do is when you hit it, it triggers a sound inside the brain of the roll-in pad 11 and makes a keyboard sound, or it can be anything. I can make these bongo sounds, tambourine sounds, cowbell sound. I can change them to whatever. I can change them to keyboard hits. And around the kit on the other side, here's another one. Again, I welded these boxes together, put pipe on the end, ran the wires through, and they've worked for years and years. I originally did it with a band called Rain Horses, so I didn't have to haul tons and tons of percussion pieces with me. It was easier to bring the pad 11 and just imitate all the sounds of congas, bongos, and all that other stuff. Up here is another thing I've made. This has got solid rubber around it, and the piezo element is sitting right here. And this, again, connects to the pad 11, and I can use it for gongs. Normally I would use it for a gong or something else that just required like one hit, and it would trigger the sound out of the module. So for those who asked, that is the scoop on those electronics. Now, second question I get asked all the time is, what the heck is this? I'm going to sit down here because it's hot up near the lights. This is a spoke hi-hat. These are Remo spokes, which are basically the baskets in rototoms. But they used to sell them, I don't know if they still do, as percussion pieces. That one's kind of touching somewhere. Anyways. And they make a chime sound. But I have them hooked up to this foot pedal right here. And I use them as a hi-hat along with this one, and I can go from the different hi-hats back and forth to trigger this, or not trigger, but operate this set of hi-hats or the spoke hi-hats. The rest is pretty much self-explanatory. We got little percussion pieces, little shakers, bells. This cowbell is old. This is 1950s. This thing is just beautiful. Love that. Let's see, as we go around down here, you'll see I have 4 pedals. And just give me a sec here. So 4 pedals. These 3 obviously I use the most. So we have the 2 hi-hats, then the kick drum pedal. This one here is basically electronic kick drum. So this here is also wired in to this module also. And I can get a kick drum sound out of it, or I can trigger a horn shot, or different phrases. Right now I don't believe I have that plugged in, so because I was going to do some vacuuming and was unplugging a few things just to get the vacuum around. But the cymbals vary. They're all anywhere from, well, they're all top line Zildjians, Sabians, with one dark trashy Meinel on here. Normally this one is on one of my other kits, but I was doing some recording and wanted a different sound in there. So right here I've got a kind of an accent shot to it. And for the keyboard phrase, now all these keyboard phrases I programmed for an original song I've been working on for a lot of years, called Witchcraft. Anyways. Yeah, I had to program all those into it. So, and then vibra slap. Oops. So each one of these for each section you can set the sensitivity. So obviously this one needs to be adjusted, because normally if I have a vibra slap here, I'll have another different percussion piece here. And people ask me about this left-handed floor tom. The left-handed floor tom is another Dave Weckl inspiration. Dave Weckl, first heard him back in the 80s playing with Chicoria, a famous piano player, jazz band, the Electric Band. Anyways, and he was using it, and he put out an instructional package, and he talked about this book called New Breed, and it was a book that he studied. He said it was one of the hardest books he ever went through, and I agree, because it's crazy hard. But it incorporates double floor toms, double hi-hats, basically getting used to playing equally with your left hand and your right hand to do a lot of fun stuff. As you can see, because of the New Breed book, I have multiple hi-hats. These are little 8-inch hi-hats. This actually is inspired by Terry Bozzio. A lot of earlier live and what do you call it, drum workshops, he's using one of these, and so I loved it. Just connects to the floor tom, and it just comes in handy. It's a different sound compared to the regular ones. It's like a lower pitch over here, higher, and I leave it just a little bit loose just for the trashy sound. Again, this is a secondary hi-hat. One of the reasons why I have that is I play traditional grip, not as much as match grip, but I use it. I still use it a lot, but I just find it a little easier having a hi-hat over here and doing traditional grip on the snare. But there are exercises between the two hi-hats from that new breed book I was telling you about. This is also a hi-hat, a little looser, smaller. These are 10, I believe, or 8. I can't remember. I think they're 8s, yeah. So 8 or 10. And I kept them loose. I just like different pitches. Here's another one of those Remo spokes, but in black. And then your typical crash over here. This is what we call piggybacking cymbals. There's actually a crash here, and on top of it is what they call a swish cymbal. So it's got a trashy sound. And it basically gets a variety of sounds. This sounds great for like with the accenting with the kick drum. This is a China cymbal with a splash cymbal reversed inside. That's piggybacked also. Just a trashy sound. I like experimenting with cymbal sounds. This is an old ride cymbal. It's a Zildjian, and it's not my normal ride here. My normal ride is a custom Zildjian Z-series cymbal that's basically it's like playing an iron plate. For the stuff I play, it cuts through nice. But I'm doing a song for somebody that required a softer kind of sound. I have a stockpile. This is only a few. I have a stockpile of ride cymbals here that I switch out for different projects. And your wonderful cowbell. And like I say, the cowbell over here. Love that cowbell. And that is pretty much it. I use Camco bass drum pedals. On this kit, I still use felt beaters. It's something that I basically use felt beaters on this kit only. I don't use them on any other kit of the old school type. But I love the sound I get on this particular kit with them. Camco pedals I've used since Tama bought the company out. Since not so much the Camco company, but the Camco pedal design. So they are now Tama Camco, and they still once in a while make them. They go in and out of cycle. They are, to me, one of the best pedals ever made. So simple to work on. And I have, I think, probably 6 singles, Camco pedals, Tama Camco pedals, and I have a double bass one that I use live. When I'm recording, I'll switch out this pedal sometimes and sneak in another double bass pedal right here of the Camco double one and just work off that single bass. But for most projects I do use double bass, and everything is mic'd separately. Right now that left bass drum is not mic'd for a project that I'm doing right now. So that is it. So, and like I say, I turn around and I can do my little practice session here. Got a stockpile of sticks. I can do keyboard stuff if I want. And I do have a stockpile of books that I use, are in the drawer. And here's another cymbal too. This one's piggybacked. A friend of mine gave me this China cymbal with rivets in it, and I mounted it on top or inside another China cymbal. So it's China within a China, and it's just got a trashy sound. So that is the kit from behind. As you can see, we've got speakers up here too. This is if I'm doing a session and we have an acoustic player or a singer and I'm working out song parts to go with the drums. I'll fire these up while that person stands at the far side of the studio. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this mixer here, there's also signals that come in from the main recording board way over there. I can operate everything over there remotely. I have a wireless keyboard right here, and the wireless mouse is right here, and this is the mouse for this. I don't like the touch screens for laptops. In fact, I hate them, so I use the mouse. I just use the mouse up here. But anyways, I can operate that studio system over there. Right here, it's hard to tell, but there's a monitor right here, and all the recording software is there, so I can actually see my wave files being recorded in real time while I play, and I can shut it off easily with the keyboard back here. Like I say, and the sound from there goes through this mixer into my headphones, which are Vic Firth sound isolation headphones. I've got a bunch of these for different parts of the house where I practice. These are great. You can get them without the cord just for hearing protection, or you can get these type with the hearing protection with where you can play music in them. I think they're about 100 and something bucks, 100 bucks anyways. I didn't pay that much for them, but I think I bought 2 or 3 pair. So that's what I use. Everything is mic'd up down here. Snare drums mic top to bottom. Up near the top there are some wonderful overhead mics and Newman mics. I'm still dialing in stuff. I've been tinkering with recording for years and years. A big drum set like this is very hard to record. Sometimes these, you can hear the ring in the pipes. When that happens, if you find a sound that's it's not controllable, the easiest way to solve that problem is just take a towel, just a small towel or a rag, dry rag, and just lay it over top, and it muffles it right away. So a lot of people say it's, never record with a rack in there. It's like, I've never had a problem with it. I've had the odd little sneaky sound come in, and the rag solved it in 5 seconds. It takes up a smaller floor plan, this kit, because of this cage. I don't have the cymbal stand feet sticking out. In fact, the only thing with cymbal stand feet are the snare drum. Everything else is on 6 legs. Everything else is on crossbars, all memory locked. It's awesome. I love it. Although live, it was a pain to move this kit around when I used to tour with it. But the rack system has memory locks, but I used to leave the front section as like a letter F. Take that off, like take the 4 crossbars off, like there's 4, one up here, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 with the toms. So that's a letter F, and the same with the other side. That's a letter F once those crossbars are out. And then this is like an A right here. So that piece would just stay as 1. All the cymbal booms and everything stay on it. And in the tour bus we had, these in the back section had hangers on the wall. The walls were all wood in this big bus we had. And hooks, I just hung them on the wall. It was fantastic. Took up no space. Set up like this. Hardest part is putting the cymbals on. But drums, to get all the drums and the cage and everything ready is like faster than I do my 4-piece kit with all the crap I've got with that. So just the cymbals, because there's a lot of cymbals here. So anyways, that's the scoop. On this side of it, the Slingerland snare, like I say, it's my favorite. I don't usually use a muffle But the project I'm working on, the person wanted a dead sounding snare, what they call closed tuning, where there's no ring, but they're okay with the toms, so which is fine with me. Always happy to oblige. I'm going to switch out the heads here very soon. These ones are definitely, they still sound good, but it's time for a change. So I'll either go with clear ambassadors, or I might go white coated ambassadors just for a bit of a change. We'll see. I love Aquarian high energy heads. I love them. I have them on a bunch of my snare drums, but not all. These snare skins last a long time. I just love them. They make this drum sound even better. I got Aquarian heads on the kick drums. I forget what model they are, the most popular ones. I forget the title of the damn thing. Super somethings, I guess. Super shot, I don't know, something like that. So I buy them in a batch. You get cheaper if you buy like 10 of them. So I buy 10, and when they wear out, I put these on Christmas kits to give away. So alrighty, so let's get out from behind here. This video is getting long. So keyboard shots. Alrighty. And you can see the spoke hi-hat. It's a cable hi-hat, runs down, goes under the bass drum, or actually that one goes over the bass drum. And I've had this for years. Another Terry Bozzio thing. He got me influenced into these ostinato patterns, and works out great for keeping time. Okay, and like I say, normally both kicks are mic'd. In this case, just the one. This mic's not placed properly because there's another mic that I have to put in there yet. I usually put a mic inside the bass drum, and then this one is usually outside, and then this is what they call a sub kick. This is actually a speaker in here, but the speaker is now wired to be a microphone, so it gets this low thump. And rather than spend hundreds of dollars buying one, I made it. I had speakers and I had a small old tom. Works fantastic. I've not had an issue with it whatsoever. This is how you can see the monitor system. I built all that, and it's wired. I know this is a mess of wires, and then it comes over to here. So I can have somebody operate while I do the drum parts, but for the most part I do it all myself. And when I'm doing guitar, I have a bunch of amps. This is a Lab series. I use that to songwrite. I've recorded with it a bit. I love it. It's the only, or one of the few, solid state amps I have. This is old school. B.B. King used them. Ty Tabor, King's X used them on their albums. I love that amp. But most people have never heard of Lab series amps. I believe Gibson had their fingers in the design of that too. That's a Vox. That's a big Vox. That's got an ace sound to it. This is a 68 Super Reverb. This one has been modded. Everything in it, caps and everything, are all brand new. I kept all the old caps and all the parts, but that amp's been gone through. That thing is brand new and sounds fantastic. I've had that for years. This is my very first guitar amp, Fender Deluxe. It's an early 90s one. I love that. This is my other Vox. This one is a workhorse for me. Most of the experimental stuff that I write has been dreamt up while playing this. It's just a small amp, and I can put it anywhere in the house, or I can wire them all together and then mic them and then run them into here. It's real easy to do. This is an Acetone echo chamber, basically a tape echo. Inside it you'll see an old reel-to-reel tape spinning around. I've had it for years, and but 2 years ago I had the whole thing totally rebuilt inside, top to bottom, and a friend of mine is an electronics wizard, and he rebuilt it for me. And he's such a wizard, we couldn't find schematics on it, so he actually designed his own schematic for it and rebuilt this thing from the bottom up, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful wet delay. Tape delays you'll hear with Pink Floyd, and even with like Brian Setzer. Like I say, there's major upkeep with them over the years. Just gotta baby them. And then a wonderful little practice amp, pig nose. This is only a few of the things I have. These are my main amps for recording, though. I do have more, but they're kind of in storage. So this is a Mackie board. Like I said, I did a video on this stuff before. So 3 sets of speakers just for different sounds, trying to get it right. I might be changing these ones out. I'm not sure yet. The Yamaha ones are pretty much a staple in recording studios. So, and a wonderful keyboard, another one. This is my bass rig. It's hard to see in here. It's a Galen Crew with an SWR Henry 8x8 cab. So I mic it and then also run a direct. There's actually cables that are tucked under the main rack, FX racks, and I just run them to this. And normally, if I'm doing vocals, there's a portable sound booth that I have right in this area, and with the low ceiling that's up here where all my heating vents are, with this low ceiling, it actually gets a really cool sound, and great for vocals. So it's on a rack that goes like this around, and totally isolates the vocals. I'm never playing more than one instrument at a time normally in here, except if I'm working on songs with somebody. And this is my main entertainment center, just for listening to tunes, watching instructional videos. This is also wired into the stereo rig over here, even though I have the receiver here. Those are also connected to those speakers. It's kind of weird how I have it set up, but it works great. I rebuilt all this studio a few years ago, so it's got all new wiring top to bottom, and it's all soundproof in here. So I haven't quite dialed in the room yet for the perfect mix, but hey, I'm not going anywhere, so basically I have the time to do it. Anyways, that's a really long video, so I might edit that out, but appreciate you asking the questions about the drum set, and if anything else, just send me a message on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll be glad to reply. Thank you.